Ripple came out with this brand new ad on X, and here's what caught my attention. It straight up validated that institutional payments, secure asset custody, regulated stablecoins, and everything on-chain is happening now. It's happening. The convergence of crypto and traditional finances accelerating the Internet of Value. That's a wrap for Ripple Swell 2025. We'll see you next year, New York City. So Ripple just released this, and I've got to tell you, the message here hits different. Take a step back with me for a second. What Ripple and these utility-focused companies have been grinding toward is finally breaking through the surface. 2025 has rewritten the entire playbook for this industry. Think about any year before this one, 2024, 2023, 2022. They all feel like ancient history now. Why does 2025 stand apart from everything that came before? Because we're not talking about potential anymore. Crypto and traditional finance are actually shaking hands and doing business together. Institutional payment rails are live and moving real money. Stablecoins have gone from experimental to essential, carving out legitimate space in worldwide money circulation. And the heavyweights in finance? They're now declaring on record that blockchain will host every major asset class. When you see that kind of institutional commitment, it confirms we've been stacking the right pieces from day one. We're dialed in on exactly what matters. And the long-term path for crypto, zero doubts about where this is going. Sure, we're going to see wild price swings. Volatility isn't going anywhere. Crashes will happen. That's just part of the ride. But none of that changes the destination. We're marching toward full-scale adoption of crypto technology. The world's biggest institutions are already plugging into this infrastructure. Assets across the board are migrating on-chain. This isn't some distant dream anymore. It's unfolding right in front of us. The wheels are already turning. Now, something else has been popping up on my radar these past few days. More people are getting their funds locked up on platforms like Mexi. This is a real problem that keeps haunting the crypto world. These exchanges operate in gray zones without full regulatory oversight. That creates risk. This is exactly why I keep hammering home the same point. If you're going to hold crypto, take control of it yourself. Cold storage, hardware wallets, whatever method works for you. Don't keep your funds sitting on these platforms. All right, let's dig into some specifics here, particularly around payments and institutional money movement. Regulated stablecoins are where the action is. RUSD just crossed the $1 billion mark in total supply. That's a major threshold. Then you've got the XRP ledger making serious moves. Right now it's holding close to $400 million in real-world assets. 47 different RWAs are connected to it. The stablecoin market cap on that ledger alone has pushed past 400 million, jumping over 44% in just the last month. Capital is flooding onto these networks at record levels. The charts tell the whole story. And if you track ROUSD specifically, the growth curve since early November has been aggressive. It rocketed past $200 million in market cap. Here's what I've been saying would happen. The market is finally rewarding the things we've been talking about for years. Remember when utility-based projects were considered boring? Nobody wanted to touch them. Everyone dismissed real use cases because hype and speculation drove everything. Now, the script has completely flipped. Real-world application, actual utility, regulatory compliance, these are the metrics that matter most. The things people used to mock are now the gold standard. We're watching a total market transformation unfold. These utility-focused projects and networks have become the blueprints everyone wants to follow. So when you connect all of this, right? What I've been laser focused on lately is stablecoins, and here's why. They're the cleanest signal we have in this entire market. You want to see how game-changing this technology actually is? Follow the stablecoin trail. These aren't speculative tokens. They're real dollars moving on blockchain rails for people who have actual needs. So who's behind this growth? Cross-border workers sending money home. Think about someone grinding in the US to support family back in their home country. Traditional remittance services slice off huge chunks in fees. Stablecoins let them bypass that completely. These aren't small improvements. They're life-changing financial shortcuts. And it's not just individuals benefiting here. Companies, large-scale enterprises, and institutional operations are plugging into stablecoin infrastructure because it outperforms everything they've used before. That's exactly why household names are now building their own stablecoin products. Take Visa as a case study. This is from Subjective Views. We have new Visa has introduced a pilot program that enables businesses to disperse payments in USD-backed stablecoins, such as USDC, directly to recipients' digital wallets. This initiative facilitates near instantaneous payouts for creators, freelancers, and gig workers. The program will begin to roll out by early 2026. Visa is piloting instant stablecoin payouts for the creator economy, freelancers, and gig workers. Launch window, early 2026. Take a listen.
So we've announced stablecoin payouts, which means we can send stablecoins to wallets globally. This is really exciting for creator economies, for payroll use cases, and marketplace payouts, and we're excited to launch and see how it scales. So in September, we announced stablecoin pre-funding, which means clients can now pay us in stablecoins for 24/7 funding options and settlement options. Now we're offering stablecoin payouts, so it's the other leg of the payment. Now funds can come in more quickly, we can send them out instantly as well. So it's kind of the full cycle of stables in, stables out. We're seeing stablecoin payouts really take off in regions where the national currency is volatile, where people could not hold USD accounts prior. They can now hold a USD pegged stablecoin. We're also seeing this expand financial inclusion because anyone that has an internet connection can stand up a wallet and receive funds.
Look, when Visa starts diving headfirst into stablecoins and publicly praising how efficient and transformative they are, that's our signal to zoom out. We need to figure out exactly where we stand in this bigger picture. I'm not talking about whether we're in a bull run or a bear market right now. The 4-year cycle stuff, that's noise. What I'm measuring is the adoption wave. Think back to how the internet evolved, because that's our best comparison point. The internet didn't become essential overnight. It existed in labs and tech circles for years. But what flipped the switch? Social media. That was the moment the internet went from a tool for early adopters to something grandparents were using daily. Social platforms turned millions of users into billions, practically overnight. Crypto is following a similar path, and stablecoins are that breakthrough layer. They're the unlock mechanism for mainstream penetration. How do I know? Check the guest list. PayPal built their own, Visa is testing payment flows, MasterCard is in the mix. Traditional banks are weaving them into operations. Even regulators in the US are creating frameworks to support dollar-backed stablecoins. This isn't some fringe experiment anymore. To me, this mirrors that social media explosion the internet had, the moment when adoption stops being linear and goes exponential. Could my read be totally wrong? Sure, that's possible. But when this caliber of institution commits resources, something major is unfolding. Since we're already talking about Visa and MasterCard, let me take you back to November 5th real quick. Ripple made this announcement at RippleSwell that turned heads. We were collaborating with MasterCard, WebBank, and Gemini to introduce RLUSD settlement on the XRP ledger for fiat credit card payments, starting with the Gemini XRP credit card. This wasn't just noise. You're watching RLUSD merge with XRP ledger infrastructure in a live use case. Two components firing together. Jump ahead to November 13th. MasterCard comes back swinging with a Thunes partnership focused on mainstream stablecoin payouts. We're not talking about some startup here. MasterCard is a household name on every continent. Their collaboration with Thunes unlocks real-time payouts flowing directly into stablecoin wallets. The backbone? Thunes Direct's global reach combined with everything stablecoins deliver: speed, always-on availability, and deep liquidity. MasterCard just linked up with Ripple, RLUSD, and the XRP ledger, then immediately turned around and connected with Thunes. What's the big picture here? MasterCard Move spans 200 markets, processes transactions in over 150 currencies, and reaches more than 95% of banked individuals worldwide. That's not a pilot program, that's global infrastructure. One more connection. Ripple and Thunes already joined forces back on September 2nd. This was to expand global partnership to transform cross-border payments. And by the way, what are they utilizing here? What are they tapping into with Ripple to enhance cross-border payments? Okay, so here's the thing. Stablecoins. That's what we're looking at. But hold on, it's not just stablecoins sitting there doing nothing. They're bringing blockchain technology into the mix too. Put 2 and 2 together and yeah, you're looking at RLUSD plus the XRP ledger doing their thing. Now check this out. Thunes goes and partners with MasterCard, right? Same moment, Ripple shakes hands with MasterCard. I mean, are we really gonna pretend that's just a coincidence? Clearly there's some coordination going on behind the scenes. And look, if you don't know about Thunes yet, you need to. This company isn't playing small ball. They've built something enormous. They're basically a heavyweight champion in the cross-border payments ring. We've actually covered them in previous videos. Their investor list? Absolutely stacked. Visa's on that list too, just so you know. Let me paint you a picture of their reach. We're talking 130 plus countries where they can send payouts. Over 80 different currencies they handle, 3 billion people using mobile wallets, and another 4 billion with bank accounts. Add that up, 7 billion accounts they can touch. The scale here is genuinely mind-blowing. And they're already partnered up with Ripple. MasterCard then teams up with Thunes, who's already in bed with Ripple. The web keeps getting tighter, doesn't it? Now flip the script to stablecoins for a minute. Who isn't involved at this point? Seriously. The IMF is out here writing reports about stablecoins, crypto, tokenization, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, they're throwing in their usual warnings about potential hazards, but think about why they're even bothering to write about this stuff now. Stablecoins have ballooned into something they literally can't pretend doesn't exist anymore. They're mainly eyeballing the old guard, USDC and USTD, since those have been grinding for years. RLUSD and the newer kids on the block, not on their radar just yet. What really gets crazy is this. Stablecoins are carving out ridiculous slices of the worldwide money supply, like actual meaningful percentages. This isn't some niche corner of finance anymore, and the growth trajectory, nowhere near done. Scott Bessent at the US Treasury dropped this bomb. We could see a 10 times explosion in stablecoins. That's not gradual growth. That's a complete reshape of how money moves. This is all going down in roughly the next 4 years. We're talking a jump from 300 billion to north of $3 trillion. The catalyst? The US government has basically given stablecoins a bear hug. Their official stance is that stablecoins actually reinforce the dollar's grip on global payments as everything goes digital. Meanwhile, everyday payment apps are getting in on this. Zelle allowing crypto-based stablecoins for transactions. Start mapping this out. Zelle's on board. Stripe hopped in too, if memory serves. Visa, MasterCard, these old school Web 2 payment titans are going all in on stablecoins. Mass adoption isn't coming. It's already building momentum right under our noses. This is why I beat this drum constantly. Stablecoins could be crypto's breakout star the same way social media was for the internet. Remember what social media actually accomplished? It turned the internet from something people used into something people couldn't live without. Before MySpace and Facebook hit the scene, sure, the internet existed, but adoption was lukewarm at best. So here's the question we should be asking. What crypto applications can realistically bring 100 million fresh users on board? 500 million? What if we're talking over 1 billion people entering the blockchain world? Stablecoins are the clearest path forward, especially with MasterCard throwing weight behind them, Visa doing the same. Now, Thunes is weaving stablecoins into their infrastructure. These aren't startups, they're juggernauts, already plugged into billions of accounts and touching hundreds of millions of people every single day. The path to mass adoption is laying itself out right in front of us. Right now, my attention is laser focused on stablecoins. Tokenization too, obviously, because these two areas strike me as the absolute heaviest hitters for crypto reaching everyday people. With stablecoins though, I'm not just watching the technology itself. I'm tracking who's actually building with them and rolling out real initiatives. Every time another heavyweight like Visa announces something, or PayPal makes a move, or MasterCard pushes a stablecoin project forward, that's the signal. Mass adoption isn't some distant fantasy anymore. Sure, it won't flip a switch tomorrow and suddenly everyone's using crypto, but the trajectory is locked in. Why? These are enterprise juggernauts we're talking about. They already own relationships with massive client bases. They've spent decades building trust and infrastructure. When they integrate stablecoins into their existing systems, millions of people get exposed to crypto without even realizing they've crossed that bridge. That's how you go mainstream. Not through hype, but through the pipes that everyday transactions already flow through. And guess where Ripple lands in all of this? Dead center. They're already working alongside several of these powerhouses, weaving the XRP ledger and RLUSD directly into these practical applications. Stablecoins have me fired up about what's ahead. If your portfolio includes XRP or other utility-driven projects, stablecoins need to be on your radar big time. Here's why. When stablecoins blow up, the foundational networks powering them get pushed into overdrive too. Things are shaping up nicely as far as I can tell. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If this added value for you, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and flip on those notifications so the free content keeps landing in your feed. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you in the next one.